Hello everyone and welcome to PendulumEdu. Guys, we are back with another session for you guys for vocabulary. I hope that the session that we've been doing for the past many days, you guys have been regularly attending the session. If you haven't attended any of the session, guys, you can subscribe to the channel for regular notifications. Also, you would definitely have our very own list of words that we provide you every day, right? We give that list to you every single day, and the list is there on our site, and for that the link is given in the description every day. So I just suggest you guys, and it's my advice that I can impart to you. You guys can definitely go ahead with it. Let's begin with today's session, guys, and a very good morning to people who are joining me here with the chat. I can see Akash is there, I can see Rahul, Ram, Aarti, Deepika. Guys, welcome and hello and hi to everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's begin with today's session, guys. The article, as you see for today, heads as Delaying the Inevitable. Delaying, we all know that we're talking about किसी चीज़ को रोकना या like to extend it to some more time, for some more time. Inevitable, guys, is an adjective, alright, something that is unavoidable. कोई ऐसी चीज़ जिसे हम रोक नहीं सकते, something that is unavoidable, okay, that is inevitable. On suspension of insolvency proceedings. When I say on suspension of insolvency proceedings, suspension is noun. Okay, first of all, Hindi meaning of inevitable is अनिवार्य, जो चीज़ ज़रूरी है जिसको आप avoid नहीं कर सकते हैं. Alright, and suspension is an act of delaying. So when you delay something, that is, in Hindi we say nilamban. So when you delay something, okay, that is suspension. So for example, you have paused some process, that is suspension of the process for the time period. Let's see, cancellation is one, suspension is secondary. Cancellation is completely you've cancelled. Suspension is that you've like halted it, you've paused it, right? Yeah, Rahul, yes. All right. I hope, Rahul, you are focusing. Now here we have done two words, inevitable and suspension till now. Okay. Restructuring of bad loans will get tardier. Will get tardier as the bankruptcy code is kept in abeyance. They say it is that the bad loans, they will get tardier. They will get delayed. More delayed. और देर होगी जैसे जैसे bankruptcy code will be kept in abeyance, will be kept at suspension. Abeyance is another word for suspension. Okay, at abeyance is also kept known as at a distance. अगर आप किसी चीज़ को दूर रहना चाहते हैं तो stay at abeyance. We say this. At abeyance is another phrase. Okay, so the point is, if we are going to keep the bankruptcy code delay, then definitely the bad loan or recovery of bad loans, it will get tardier, it will get more delayed. Now see, for delay is there, suspension is there, tardier is there, abeyance. These words are some or the other way related to each other, but they are different in meaning. The government has kicked the can down the road by deciding to keep in abeyance critical provisions of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of 2016 till March 31, 2021. The government has decided this, and it has decided the critical provisions for insolvency and bankruptcy. They are going to keep it suspended till March 31, 2021. They will be suspended. To recap, because of the large-scale economic harakiri triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown, the government had raised the threshold of loan. Threshold, that is the limit. Threshold is the limit, you can say the benchmark, you know. Threshold is now कहते हैं एक minimum जो स्तर होता है किसी चीज़ का, that threshold of loan default, it has reached the threshold of loan defaults that would spark off insolvency proceedings from 1 lakh to 1 crore on the day of lockdown's announcement, March 24. So you guys see the loan defaults range from 1 lakh to 1 crore since the lockdown was announced, that is March 24. So this shows the impact on our economy because of pandemic, right? Because of this pandemic we had to go for a lockdown. Amid that, a lot many ventures and a lot, you can say the economy has to a greater extent shuttered, right? It has experienced a lot, and now that it has come into a shabby state, we have to restructure things back to normal. Moving ahead, the writer states, it had indicated that if things did not improve by April end, the suspensions of certain sections of the IBC for 6 months could be considered to prevent companies at large from being forced into insolvency process for a force majeure default. Force majeure is a phrase, it is a noun phrase, okay? It means you can say irresisting or irresistible compulsion. एक तरह की मजबूरी. So I'm going to reread it to explain it to you. It says that it has indicated if things don't get better by April end, then the suspensions for a few codes that of IBC sections have been, there are suspension for 6 months could be considered. They can be considered for 6 months, that the suspension will be there for, it will be extended for another 6 months to prevent the companies to come to this stage of insolvency process, because otherwise it will be a majburi, unki majburi hogi to take a follow-up in that way, right? In that way, force majeure is irresistible compulsion, किसी की मजबूरी. So Anamika says, ma'am काफ़ी jobs भी गई हैं lockdown में. Exactly, that is what we are saying, because economy has like shattered to a great extent. Because of that, even employers are facing difficulty to bear the cost, and when there's cost cutting, definitely there are layoffs, right? So the layoffs definitely बहुत लोगों का job चला गया है इसके वजह से. So that's appropriate. Exactly, Rahul. Okay, an ordinance in June definitely barred the initiation of insolvency. If you see that it has barred the initiation of insolvency proceedings, both barred, that it has stopped. Barred, it's a verb, stopped, rokna. So it has stopped the initiation of insolvency proceedings, both voluntarily or creditors, for defaults arising on or after March 25, 2020 for a period of 6 months that could be stretched to a year. Now this is another thing, that though it was decided for 6 months, it is thought that it can be stretched to a year span. Okay, वो पूरा year के लिए extend हो जाता है. Okay, Rahul says, exactly Rahul, insolvency दिवालिया ही होता है. Guys, मैंने अभी बोला bankruptcy के लिए कि जिसके पास कुछ ना बचे. So देखो, difference between insolvent and bankrupt. जब कोई व्यक्ति bankrupt हो जाता है, then you declare that person insolvent. First, the person gets bankrupt, no पैसा in the bank, right? Then you declare that person insolvent because that person is now unable or incapable of paying off his or her debts now. So you declare him or her insolvent. Okay, Rahul? I hope it's clear now. Alright. So, further, the writer adds, when the initial 6 months of forbearance, sahanshilta, forbearance is noun, guys, that is the patience. Okay, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं हम सहनशीलता. Okay, so forbearance is noun. So it says the forbearance under the IBC expired. Initial 6 months of forbearance जो थे, when it expired, it was extended till December 25. Okay, so when the relaxation period, or you can say that the patience level of 6 months, initial 6 months logo ne like people accepted it and things were going fine. Under when it expired, when 6 months they expired, then further it was extended till December 25. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's pronouncement now of a further suspension would mean the 1 year limit permitted by the law is fully used up. So जो 1 year का जो permission already granted था, if a finance minister has announced that there will be further suspension, or there could be further suspension, there is a pronouncement that is पहले से ही वो बता रहे हैं. So this means that definitely there is going to be a year limit. They will cover that limit. The government must make it clear that this is the last such window of respite. Respite, guys, I'm going to wipe off the screen. फिर मैं लिखती हूँ आपके लिए meaning. Alright, respite, guys. Respite is noun, and it means the state or the phase of relaxation, or you can say जिसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं मोहलत. So this is the last window of respite. ये आखिरी समय है government के लिए. Government should understand that nothing more than this they can take advantage of. If they are extending it for 1 year that was granted by law, then it's fine, not more than that, because this is the last respite. Even as the necessity for a blanket suspension of IBC at this point in time is not as apparent as it was in the first or second quarter of 2021. Blanket suspension, that is for some time. So we didn't know that the blanket suspension that was thought of, that it might be there for a year, that was not apparent in the first or second quarter as it is now apparent. Like people now know that it is going to be extended because the government still is not, or the economy still is not in the best of its phase. So definitely the government is looking up to the further suspension, okay, and it wants to rest for some time. It wants some more time to get over this, and it is trying its best. Let's see what government does. Moving ahead, the writer has stated that stretching the IBC's abeyance for one does not square up with the government's proclamations of a firm. Proclamation, that is announcement और स्टेटमेंट. कहते हैं ना कोई स्टेटमेंट देना या फिर कोई घोषणा करना, तो उसका it says it does not square up, it does not match up with the government's proclamation of a firm V-shaped economy recovery. V-shaped की economy ऐसे गई और ऐसे ही recover कर भी जाएगी. So it says that जो government क्या कर रही है, IBC के जो suspension है उसको delay करती जा रही है. It is continuously extending it or stretching it. So what writer says that this action or this particular decision of government of extending the IBC abeyance does not match up the statement or the announcement that the government made that it is going to have a V-shaped recovery of the economy. How is this possible if government is continuously trying to stay away from the problems? Finance Ministry Mandarins. Mandarin here means, it is a noun, it means the officials, the government officials, okay, they are the Mandarins, basically the bureaucrats, have repeatedly talked up growth prospects by flagging indicators returning to pre-COVID-19 levels in several sectors. Okay, a few finance ministry people, what have they done? They have talked about the growth when from the pre-COVID levels. Abhi agar baat karte hain from the present, comparing present to the past, they're trying in few sectors, they're trying to express or they're trying to explain that there is a bit of growth that can be observed in a few sectors, not all but several sectors. Surely, businesses in those sectors need no longer be sheltered from exits if they are not competitive. Now, but the writer says that if there is no competition, then why will they need help, right? If the competition is completely, I would say, vaulted, like it has completely vanished, then why would these businesses need help now, or shelter, protection? Why would they need? The government by now should know which sectors continue to remain in trouble, and if it is concerned about small and medium businesses, it could tweak the default. Tweak is a verb, it could change or modify. Badalna, okay? Ya badlav lana. So it could tweak the default threshold limit a tad higher. A tad higher means a bit higher. Tad means thoda, bit. So it can increase, or it can raise the threshold a bit higher, while letting bankruptcy processes function again for larger loan accounts. So let the bankruptcy process go on. But a catch-all suspension, like catch-all, a complete suspension could burden banks further and does not appear to have enthused industry either. So see, what is happening if the complete suspension is there of the IBC, then the bankruptcy things are not helping banks because there is no recovery, right? And even banks are having a huge load on their shoulders. They are being burdened completely. One reason could be that the suspension also cuts off businesses' ability to voluntarily ever enter insolvency. For many, post-COVID operations may not seem viable. Viable is an adjective that means feasible or possible. कहते हैं ना संभव, तो वो चीज़ संभव नहीं लग रही है. It doesn't seem viable. So they say that one reason is that the suspension, it also cuts off businesses ability. वो उनकी क्षमता जो है insolvency में enter करने की, उसको भी ख़त्म कर रहे हैं suspension. कुछ businesses हैं वो चाहते हैं bankruptcy declare करना, तो वो भी एक chance है जो that businesses are unable to take up. So there is another loss that they are bearing, and for many post-COVID operations, this is not feasible at present. A few organizations, they want to declare themselves insolvent, and they are unable to do that. So that is another problem. Good morning, Deepthi. Good morning. All right. Lastly, the writer adds, denying them an exit route so as to cut their losses, while the assets shed value is a lose-lose proposition for both borrower and lender. If we give them an exit route, why can't we? If we are denying the exit route, what is happening? If we're denying the exit route, it is generally what we're doing, we're denying them to cut their losses down. They are in losses, they don't want to run their businesses, but still we're denying to let them have this option. So that is what is happening. They are bearing more and more losses. A more nuanced approach. A more nuance is an adjective, would have been better for banks. A more nuanced approach, a more like sensible or a more approachable, accessible approach would be better for banks, businesses and the economy. Delaying the inevitable would mean greater financial stress ahead, as the restructuring and recovery of bad loans shall get tardier and future growth momentum would be punctured at the cost of understanding present systematic stress. I explained you the meaning of tardier, I gave you the meaning of inevitable, I gave you the meaning of restructuring. It means the same. The writer has summed it up that if you could constantly deny something that is unavoidable, people, if the businesses are getting insolvent, let them declare themselves insolvent. If you're not letting them declare insolvent, then you are inviting greater financial stress that is going to be there ahead. So instead of that, we need to work something out for them. This is what the writer has to state. Guys, this is the entire article that I wished to discuss with you guys for today, and these are the words that I wish to give you. Any doubts that guys you have, Anamika, Rahul, Deepika, Deepthi, And any doubts you guys have, Aarti, Akash, any doubts if you guys have, quickly let me know. Tardiya naya word mila. Anamika, great. Tardiya is, what is tardiya? It's an adjective. It means delayed. Der se ya deri se. Okay. Great, Deepika. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So join every day, right? And whether you're working for banking, SSC, civil services, or defense examinations, this is for you guys. Vocabulary. Okay, great. Great, Rahul. Great. Thank you so much. All right, no doubts. Then I'm going to wrap up the session right here, and I will see you tomorrow. And guys, tomorrow is Christmas. I hope you guys will have fun this festive season inside your homes only, right? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.